Hare Krishna, Matajis.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
And with pranams to all. Can you all hear me, Matajis?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Shall we wait for a few minutes or we should start?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Janvi Jivan Mataji, I'm making you the host, Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just have to end the session, Mataji. YouTube live streaming is started. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkrupātamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatharanam. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadamkitam. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Nami. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshitare. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Vesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanustate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya cha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we are starting from 18th, doing 18th chapter. That's a conclusion chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the perfection of the renunciation, and starting 67 today. So we finished up till 66 yesterday. Read the verse. Idam te nata pakshaya na bhaktaya kadachana na chakshurusave vachyam na chamamhyo bhayashyati. Anyone wants to recite?
Mataji, shall I read, Mataji?
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Idam te nātabhaskāya nābhaktāya kadāsana na shrukshave vakshyam na cha mam yo bhayakshu yati. Shall I read the translation and purport, Mataji?
Yeah. Is anyone else want to do, or otherwise, Mataji, you can go ahead. I want to put this.
How do you pronounce this word? Shashu, Shuru, something? Third line?
Chakshu Shurushve. Check. Nacho? Ashu. Ashurushave. So it's like, someone who are noting is Ashuras, like Ashurasave.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Who is reciting now? The translation, the purport.
Shall I continue, Mataji?
Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. This confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere or devoted or engaged in devotional service, nor to one who is envious of me. Purport. Persons who have not undergone the austerities of the religious process, who have never attempted devotional service in Krishna consciousness, who have not tented a pure devotee, especially those who are conscious of Krishna only as a historical personality, or who are envious of the greatness of Krishna, should not be told this most confidential part of knowledge. It is, however, sometimes found that even the demoniac persons who are envious of Krishna, worshipping Krishna in a different way, take to the profession of explaining Bhagavad Gita in a different way to make business. But anyone who desires actually to understand Krishna must avoid such commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Actually, the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is not understandable to those who are sincere. Even if one is not sincere, but is strictly following the disciplines enjoyed in the Vedic scripture. If he is not a devotee, he also can't understand Krishna. And even when one poses himself as a devotee of Krishna, but is not engaged in Krishna conscious activities, he also can't understand Krishna. There are many persons who envy Krishna because he has explained in Bhagavad Gita that he is a supreme and that nothing is above him or equal to him. There are many persons who are envious of Krishna. Such persons should not be told of Bhagavad Gita, for they can't understand. There is no possibility of faithless person understanding Bhagavad Gita and Krishna. Without understanding Krishna from the authority of a pure devotee, one should not try to comment upon Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. So this section onwards, like few verses, are talking about it's a summary of all. Now Bhagavad Gita is completed. 17th chapter itself is completed. 18th chapter is all summarizing what we have learned throughout the chapters. And here in this section of Gita, it's mainly about preaching, how to preach, how to study, and whom to preach, and how to approach when you study Shastra, like that. The Bhagavad Gita has to be understood properly in proper mode. So who can explain this knowledge? To whom we can explain this knowledge? How to explain? What are the do's and don'ts and precautions to be taken? Those kind of things are covered in the next few verses, and then take us to the surrendering. That surrender is happened already, like Arjuna, Krishna has mentioned to Arjuna, Sarva Dharma Parityajnam Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. He said, you just take shelter of me, and all the I'll take away all the sinful reactions, and then that's it. There's no other religion greater than this, just to surrender. We abandon all the religion and just surrender. That's what has been done, and Arjuna has come to the conclusion, and he is doing that, and then that is taking us to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So that is end of Bhagavad Gita actually. So now when we learned that verse, Lord Krishna is mentioning about the previous verse. It's a powerful verse of Srimad Bhagavad Gita that taking us to the lotus feet of the Lord. Now we understand that there is so much Sarva Dharman is there in that purport, in that verse mentioned. So there are lots of dharmas there in this material world. Like when you think about, like, there is a dharma of your own family you do. There is an occupational dharma, that is vritti dharma, and there is you belong to a particular country, so there is dharma related to the country, so desha dharma, like that. And then there is your caste is there, there's some kula dharma is there, and then there is a jati dharma, kula dharma is all same only, but there's a sti dharma, so related to the women especially. Like that, we see there is parivara dharma, means family dharma. We see all types of different dharma aspects in our life in this material world. So they're all different small scenarios, or small what do you say, that in a big picture, there are small aspects of our life. So the big picture is what, like it is like something not related to just doing our own dharmas, but it is something related to extending it to everyone else. That is, selflessly trying to do this particular, execute this dharma for the pleasure of the Lord, which is paro dharma. So that is the greatest dharma, and that is the dharma which is discussed in 66 verse, and that is the topmost of everything, like that. So that dharma, what happens? It will awaken our love for the Lord. So whatever we have forgotten due to our conditioning in this material world, with entangled with three modes of material nature, now we have to get out of it. So this paro dharma will awaken us, and that awakening is what? Just remembering us to the, Supreme Lord is there, and He is the Father of all of us. And then how to love Him, so that love and devotion for the Lord should awaken in our heart. So that parodharma, when you extend it to others and awaken in everyone else's heart also, you see in everyone's heart, Krishna is there. Sarvasya chaham pradisannivishto. We learned in 15th chapter, 15th verse. So this is what, and make us to understand that we have to lead there. We have to get there. Reading Bhagavad Gita all through to come to conclusion is that this is what we have to do. That is what is Prabhupada is recommending, teaching and preaching and studying. He himself set as an example how he was being, sharing this knowledge to everybody. So like that. So if you understand, simple example, Prabhupada only shared this story, when I was hearing to the Prabhupada lectures, this story is very nice, it's a simple story for us to understand the big picture. So there's a man, this man is working under a village sarpanch, or, like that it is called sarpanch or panchayat. They are designations in a village. They look after the needs of the people. So this village sarpanch is there and a panchayat is there. And this man is working under him. Now he notices that this village panchayat is actually reporting it to a higher, another person. That another person is like a Tahsildar is called. So that is it a little higher hierarchy in a different position. So he has to report to them. So he is reporting them. So this man approaches this village panchayat and asks that, okay, I am working for you, but I notice you're reporting to someone else, and I would like to work for that person rather than to under you. So can I work for you? Okay, he gives an opportunity to work for under the Tahsildar. So now he goes to work under him. Now he notices after some time that he is also reporting to a village king. Now he notices and he asks, okay, can I work under him? So then he will go to, like a progression is happening, like in our mundane world also, we know that promotion happen, right? From one position to other position, we aim to go. So like that, this person is going. So he'll go to another king who is Tahsildar is reporting. And then he will work under them, under that king. And he notices that this small king who is representing few villagers, he is actually reporting to a bigger king. And he has a desire to work for that bigger king. And then again, he gets an opportunity, he'll work for the bigger king. Now, when he is working for that bigger king, he is noticing that this bigger king actually, one day, he actually accidentally sees this bigger king, that he's gone to a temple and he's, bow down to the Lord and he's doing pradakshana, parikrama of the temple, and he's doing all sorts of things which he cannot comprehend. Now he's thinking, oh, he's a big king, I am reporting, and so many people are working under him in that hierarchy is like a higher position he has got, and he is doing. So I think it's better I just, he's getting that mentality, understanding that, okay, better than him is this Supreme Lord, where he is approaching and bowing down and trying to do. So it's better I work for him, like that he understands. So then he aimed to work for the Lord, actually means he aimed to understand how to actually use his time for the Lord, like that. So then this main king, a bigger king, he's actually gone to a Banka Bihari temple, which is there in Vrindavan. That's the temple. So then this person from the village who approached this bigger king and who noticed that he's gone to the Banka Bihari temple and he's doing all these things to the Lord, and he has the desire, and he went to the temple, and by the time he went to the temple, it's actually closing time. So then the person who is closing the temple, he stopped him entering, and then he made him to come some other time. It's now that time is closed, like that. Now this person actually nowhere to go, but he has a desire to take darshan or understand how to work for the Lord, like that. And then he's sleeping outside on the steps he sleeps, and then it is like a cold winter time, like that. So during the night he's shivering and He's not having, he didn't prepare for anything. He's just following the king, and he understood, oh, this is he's doing, and he had a desire to continue to do that or go approach Lord like that. So he's outside. Then, when he is like that, he got a mercy overnight from the Lord that, Lord himself gave his chadar, and then he was sleeping like that on the steps. So next day, this person came to open the door gates, and then he noticed, oh no, overnight he's sleeping there, and that too, he is having the chadar of the Lord. How is it looks like he's a thief like that, he thought. And then when he entered into the temple, he understood that, Lord has a similar, same chadar is there, but he is having again another one. So he understood that this person is not an ordinary person. He is just, Lord has showed him special mercy. Like that, he invited. So then when that person invited him inside, he has actually went to the, take shower in the river nearby, and then Yamuna River is a Vrindavan, right? So he went to take shower in Yamuna River, and he cleansed himself, and he started, worshipping the Lord. And then he ended up as a pujari and working there like that. So he understood that he is a master of everyone. And then, he got the mercy of the Lord. He had the desire in the heart. So this parodharma will lead us to like that, to the shelter of the Lord. So when we just, small things we aim for, but look at the bigger picture, that is what we have to aim for. So this is what, you understand there is throughout the Bhagavad Gita, we are been hearing the greatness of the Lord, and then now we understand that greatness is there, but to get to know the sweetness of the Lord, we have to have that love, that love should awaken in our heart. That means the serving attitude, just like how we do serve, when we do the dharma for each and every aspect in our life, to the family, to the relatives, to the friends, or to the, to the workplace where we do, or to the nation, or to the community, to the society, how we try to do our dharma, extend it further, and then try to reach out to awaken love for the Lord in everybody heart. That is the greatest dharma. So then, you recognize that Lord is the master of everybody. So this is what this person recognized, and this is what he surrendered like that. And I also heard about, you may have heard, about His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu. Everybody knows in this forum, Radheshyam Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mataji.
he himself shared in one of the lectures that how he has also approached, Krishna. Initially, he was actually coming from Shaivite family, and then, he's a staunch worshipper of Kumaraswamy, Kartikeya. So, Skanda, Kavacham and all they recite. He was doing like that, and then after a few months, he understood that he's the chief of the demigods, and he's the one who actually, fight with against asuras whenever they need like that, and he's the son of Lord Shiva. Then he got attraction for Lord Shiva and started worshipping Lord Shiva. When he started worshipping Lord Shiva, he used to, chant Om Namah Shiva every day like that. And then he happened to see that, Lord Vishwarupa picture somewhere in the market, outside, in a temple or somewhere. So there he saw the big picture where you see all the demigods and the Supreme Lord, and then Lord Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, everybody saw there. And he thought, okay, Shiva is there within the Supreme Lord Krishna is there. And then he got this big Vishwarupa picture and put it to the wall. And he saw Arjuna paying obeisances to this Vishwarupa. That, the 11th chapter when we have gone through. Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, and he was bewildered with Vishwarupa form, and then he will, who are you? And then just inquiry and ask him to come back to his normal form. So that is the scene where the picture is all over. So then you see Arjuna paying obeisances to Krishna as Vishwarupa. He started doing same thing every day. Like that, he started reading Krishna book, and he fell in love with Supreme Lord Krishna, like that. So he understood that, through the process, he, surrendered to the Supreme Lord. So that is, when you worship the other lords or any other representatives of the Lord and the agents of the Lord, you do it in the awe and reverence mode. But when you worship Supreme Lord Krishna, we do it with sweet love. That is has to be done. That is the way to be worshipping Krishna. So the devotion should be like that. Sweetness should be there, not like with fear and anxiety and if you forget this, what happened? Like that. Too much of conditioning. Not like that. It's all out of unconditional love. It's just how a mother loves a child. It's like so. Vatsalya bhava we see, na? So it's like that. So every other rasas are there, but understanding that natural relationship should be there. So here in this purport, what it is going, what Prabhupada is telling us is that, persons, they undergo a lot of austerities, and they never attempt to devotional service in Krishna consciousness, and who have not, they are not actually having, they consider as a devotee, but they are not practicing their devotees aspects of that. So historically, people who are envious of the greatness of Krishna, and people who are, understanding Krishna as only historically is a supreme lord like that, and not understanding further. So one should not explain this knowledge to such people. Bhagavad Gita, someone who is austere and one has to explain this knowledge only to people who are austere, non-envious, and then they are devotees. They are trying to practice pure devotional service. For them only, this Gita has to be expressed or explained. That's the most confidential part of the knowledge. That's why, people who are envious of this Supreme Lord Krishna, we should not approach them to explain. So, however, we found sometimes Prabhupada says demonic persons who are envious of Krishna, worshipping Krishna in a different way. What is that in a different way? They are worshipping for some other, we see that professional commentators, we see that, there are people who do 7 days Bhagavad Saptaha. There is a certain motive for them. And then they do that because they are, their intent is different. So for them, they are a little bit, they may not, business motive is there. They don't actually trying to awaken love for the Lord in everyone. They are getting some purpose out of it. So they are, profession of explaining Bhagavad Gita in a different way to make business. You should avoid understanding commentaries from such people. So purpose of Bhagavad Gita is it, strictly is that to understand Krishna. But if someone poses that they are a devotee and they don't engage in Krishna conscious activities, they cannot understand Krishna at all. So how, if you try to learn from them, you won't get any benefit. So they are, different people envy Krishna because Krishna is the supreme, but they don't understand that no one is above Krishna like that. So, and we should try not to comment on Bhagavad Gita to people who are envious, who are faithless, those who don't have any understanding of Krishna from the authority, or from, don't seek the authority to understand the Supreme Lord's greatness or sweetness like that. So we have to avoid. There is a possibility that faithless persons understand Bhagavad Gita and Krishna, but without understanding Krishna from an authority, from a devotee who is already in the parampara, in a disciplic succession, who has already been gone through the process, who have learned everything, who is self-realized, they can impart knowledge to us. Like that we learned in the 4th chapter, right? Sir, what is that? What is the word? Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevya, right? So in that verse, what is it saying? We have to seek out to reach out submissively in a mood of surrender and serve them. Whoever, self-realized people who serve them, and they impart knowledge unto us because they have realized, they understood the truth. So like that. So one should not comment this Bhagavad Gita to people who are envious, people who are faithless, people who can't understand the supreme sweetness of the Lord, like that. So you should, should strictly surrender, or should strictly approach a person who is interested to execute this process. Yeah. So like that, so if you try to preach someone,
what she's saying here.
Someone is talking or asking. There is some background noise coming, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Yes,
So
I think there was disturbance.
Yeah.
There
So
was disturbance.
the main. Yeah. So this is explained in Bhagavad Gita, sir, that Krishna is a supreme Lord. No one is greater or equal to him. So if people are envious, they will do different ways of worshipping Krishna out of their personal motive, or just to make some business out of it, which such people we should avoid, and from such people we should not hear any commentaries. We should be very careful. We should only approach the authority, a pure devotee who is bona fide in the following the sampradaya or disciplic succession, like that. Yeah. So is it clear? I'll go to the next one. We will take questions.
Mataji.
May I read, Mataji?
Yeah, Navakishwari Mataji, right?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yaitam param guhyam mat bhaktei keshava vidasyati bhaktim mai param krutva mame vishyastya sansayah. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. For one who explains his supreme secret to the devotees, your devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Generally, it is advised that Bhagavad Gita be discussed among the devotees only. For those who are not devotees and will understand neither Krishna or Bhagavad nor Bhagavad Gita. Those who do not accept Krishna as he is and Bhagavad Gita as it is should not try to explain Bhagavad Gita whimsically and become offenders. Bhagavad Gita should be explained to persons who are ready to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is a subject matter for the devotees only and not for the philosophical speculators. Anyone, however, who tries sincerely to present Bhagavad Gita as it is will advance in devotional activities and reach the pure devotional state of life. As a result of such a pure devotion, he is he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna. So yeah, so it is clear from here the teachings of Gita. It's like, this particular verse is giving us the information that, this supreme secret should be explained to the devotees, pure devotees. So then, then the devotional service is guaranteed like that. Then at the end, you will come to me. So this is a confidential knowledge and never to be explained to those who don't have any faith. So then this is not spoken to people who don't have control of their senses. We don't approach you without true devotion. Someone who is like, don't have any some submissive or humble state of mood of mind or like that. They don't have that attitude to hear actually submissively. They may outrightly challenge you in front of everybody. Such people you should set aside. Don't concentrate on such people when you try to preach Bhagavad Gita or you try to preach also to them, because it's a waste of time and it's not going to help you in your sadhana also. And then if you are trying to do, and if some others who are interested, you're not able to give time to them, and then just wasting your time to someone who is like, just an offender of, Supreme Lord, then just worry about them. It's actually one of the offenses, 9th offense, right? What is it? Preaching the glories of the holy name to the people who are faithless. So we should not do that. So we should avoid doing that. So that is what it is saying. I mean, this verse is saying. So one who is envious of Krishna, one who is thinking that Krishna is just a mere, material aspect like that, they don't. Yeah. So a teacher should tell the disciple. That's what Prabhupada says. The teacher should tell the disciple that they should reveal the knowledge and then tell the disciples to not to reveal this knowledge to the unqualified people. So then that way, they will be saved. Otherwise, we cannot preach to each and everyone who don't have faith in the scriptures. That is not recommended. So they should be explained to the people who are ready to accept Krishna. If they're favorable to Krishna consciousness, if they're trying to do, then it's easy. Like sometime, there's if people go on book distribution. If you go to book distribution, sometimes you see, even when I was doing it, sometimes you see the people already say, I have Bhagavad Gita already. So then, they inquire a little more. They must have read. We have come across, like they read books and then they try to connect with devotees or ask further, they'll have some doubts or further they'll ask. So such people we can put our effort so that they will actually come back, favorably progress in their path of devotion service. So if we do like that, then we are more using our time wisely rather than, wasting time to people who are running away from Krishna and wasting our time also like that. Yeah. So imagine like you are in a boat, you are crossing the river in a boat, and then there is a big hurricane in the place where you are, and it is a need of the hour that you have to cross this as soon as possible. And there are, you try to give a rope to people who are in need, and then that is the best way to do, right? But if you see, instead of giving a rope to people who are in need, you see people are in the water running, going in a different direction, and you may understand, okay, they may also need, and you jump out of the boat and you go, and then you try to rescue them, and then you chase after them and go after a long time, you go and you find them in the water, and then They say, why are you coming after me? Why are you chasing me? I'm just swimming and enjoying in the water. Why are you coming after me? I don't need your help. It's just waste of your time to do like that, right? Instead of that, better you give a rope to someone who is actually in need and they catch a rope and come. It's better. You are in the boat, you're already doing the journey, and you are helping others with a rope to pull others also into the boat. Rather than you jump out of the boat and go to an extent where you are also in risk, and then they don't need your support or your guidance or your shelter or your anything, help. So it's waste of your time. So if you understand this, you will approach people who really need or try to, ready to accept Krishna. So like that, we should not, we should be careful when we see there are some, like Prabhupada said in the purport, there are some philosophical speculators are there. They will interpret different things. They may write their own Bhagavad Gita, the print and distribute also. And then it is like, milk touched by a poisonous snake. So if you drink it, gone. So you will lose the path, not only lose the body, you will die. So it's like that. So better to approach a bona fide pure devotee who is in the process and sincerely presenting Bhagavad Gita. That way, what happens now? You will advance. And then Krishna will give you special mercy so that your devotional service is guaranteed. And then you will reach that the highest stage of bhakti. That, first faith comes, then sadhu sangha comes, Shraddha, sadhu sangha, anartha nivritti. Like that, stages you will pass through. Ishta, like that, you will go. So your devotion is sure, and then you will come back to me, like that Krishna is telling. Yeah. So this is very important when you try to preach. Go to the next one.
Read Mataji. Read. Hare Krishna.
You want to recite, Mataji?
Yeah.
Yes,
How do you
please.
say Mataji? Nucha tasman manusyesu kashin me priya kritam bhavita cha me tasman anya priya pritaro bhuvi. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. A very short one.
Yeah, very short one. There's the benefits of teaching Bhagavad Gita. So this someone who, the first verse, the earlier verse which we discussed, 68 is what, the supreme secret of Bhagavad Gita to my devotees is explained, and then that they will attain pure devotional service and they come back to me without doubt. That's what Krishna said. Now this one, Krishna is telling that they will become most dear to me. There's no servant in this world more dear to me than he, or nor there will be anyone who dear to me in future. That means there are so many, Krishna is telling that this kind of, giving this kind of knowledge to others, knowledge of, spreading this knowledge to others is the topmost spiritual activity, welfare activity, which we can do, either in the form of distribution of books, either in the form of prasadam distribution, or in the form of, preaching or giving the knowledge to others. These are all, very, very, very auspicious and very dear to Krishna. Whatever we do, bringing someone closer to Krishna through the activities of, these kind of things which pleases to Krishna, and then you become like very dear servant of the Lord. Who doesn't want to become a dear servant of the Lord like that? There is a different yajnas are there. There is a drava yajna, there is tapo yajna, there is these yajnas, you do something, you give it, which is just a material thing maybe. But you do jnana yajna, which is the best out of everything. So you give this knowledge to everybody in whichever form you will be able to. If you're not able to distribute this, Prabhupada himself wrote all the scriptures, translated Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. He himself showed us an example how to distribute also. Yeah. So when how to preach also, he showed us, how to distribute also, he showed us. Tirelessly he did it. So that when he is giving this to everybody, how he become a dear to Krishna also. How Prabhupada, when he was preaching to everyone, he used to release his own books. When someone asked him, why are you reading this book? He used to say that these books are not written by me. Krishna has dictated to me. I was just hearing and writing. So that's why when I read these books, I get more pleasure. So like that. So Prabhupada recommended all of us to read and all of us instructed to preach. Every one of us can become a spiritual guru. That's what Prabhupada wanted, everyone to become guru and preach and reach out so that every village, town, suburb will be Krishna consciousness. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is all about. Yeah. So then he did it. And then on top of that, whenever he did it, when he went to Western countries, he said, he is not going to Western country. He said, Srimad Bhagavatam is going to Western country. He credited everything to his guru, spiritual master. Whatever he is doing is just because of his guru's mercy, his guru's instruction is following. All I am doing is all the credit goes to my guru, not for me. So it's like that humble attitude also is there with him. So that is what he preached, he showed us. So we have to do like that so that we get shelter of Krishna, mercy of Krishna, and then we also aim to or try to become a good servant of Krishna. And then, that servant who is serving the servant of the servant of the servant. So we have that eternal constitutional position is there. Our conditional position is all whatever we have in this world with our kith and kin, some kind of relationship we have because of our previous karma attached to baggage we have, so desires we have. So we have got this particular situation in our human form of life. But no matter whatever we are, the main thing is that our nature is, our parodharma is to serve the Supreme Lord. So while serving everybody, seeing Krishna in everyone's heart, we have to serve Krishna. So engage everyone in our family, in around surroundings like that, and serve Krishna. So then you become very, there's no servant dear to Krishna like that. So you will become very dear most servant of Krishna. So like that, you have to serve Krishna. So he's instructing us to that. It's a very small one. There's a deeper meaning in this statement. I hope you all agree. Yeah, this
Yes.
one-liner. But this one-liner can go lengthy discussion also actually. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, yes.
Yeah. So this is important, like, very, very auspicious thing to do when we hear whatever we hear, we share. Sharing is caring. So Prabhupada is encouraging all of us to that. And then Krishna is telling to Arjuna. And then actually, Krishna is trying to reconfirm or get a clarity. Like, if a teacher is teaching in a class, sometimes teacher may not understand if the children are just quietly sitting, not inquiring, not asking any question. Submissively hearing is good, but how the teacher understands whether you're getting it or not. If the teacher asks a question, then you will understand whether it is. So Krishna is trying to also try to understand whether Arjuna is getting everything. Is it sinking into his head? Is it happening like that? He wants to understand. Right? He will ask a question in the next few verses, and then later Arjuna also will answer for that. Yeah. So it's just and Krishna is ready also. In next verses, he will say, he will ready to tell again everything, which is the most generous thing. Yeah. Who wants to read this?
Can I read
Pramila.
Mataji? Yes. Can I read Mataji? Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Adhyashate chaya imam dharmyam samvada avyaho yana yajena tenaham ishtasyam iti me mati. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And I declare that he who studies the sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is telling here, right? Krishna is Prabhupada in the translation mentioning what Krishna says, who studies the sacred conversation of our worships, they worship me by intelligence. So this is assuring to Arjuna that yes, so this is what one is supposed to do, my dear Arjuna. So he instructed already with whom he will be, very pleased with. Dear most will be someone who reach out and preach this, subject, this give this knowledge, like that. So he is actually mentioning here that they will actually use their intelligence and do it. So that Arjuna also does now. He picks up his Gandiva bow and try to fight because he's happy now, whatever he heard from all the, in the Kurukshetra war, in the midst of the war, everyone is watching and the Krishna and Arjuna is conversing. And then Krishna says that, they will use their intelligence and worship Krishna without any doubt, like that. Already Sarva Dharma Parityajna is happened. So now there's no doubt. Full surrender is there, like that. Like say, if you try to do worship Krishna, like for example, when we try do some service, let's say if it is a garland service, the flowers are ordered in the temple. Generally, some devotees do buy some flowers, but it's already there. And sometimes, because of our, in the country where I am, the winter situation, you won't get good flowers. So you will have a scarcity of flowers, but we have to use those flowers intelligently and make a garland. So then we use our, intelligence to do that. Sometimes we may have hardships, but we have to use best of the, what do you say, that best out of the bad bargain, like that. Whatever is available, you do. And there, what you have, you fully surrender to Krishna. Is whatever is there in front of you, out of that you have to just make it, do it. Any service you do, either it is cooking or making garland or even dressing also. Everything is just not in your hands. You try, you only be an instrument. You try your best. Whatever comes out, it's Lord's mercy, like that. So it is what it is, that's like that. Krishna is telling, use your intelligence and just worship him. The intelligence is what is, you surrender to Lord and you are just an instrument. Nimitta matram bhavasarya sachi. That's what he's telling to Arjuna, and that is what is the mode is. So we should also be like that. We are just in the parampara, an instrument to serve Srila Prabhupada mission of preaching this, Krishna consciousness to reach out to everybody, and then, be in the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's like that, So your intelligence center. So worship Krishna like that. Anyone wants to recite 71?
Next, Mataji, Hari Bol.
Yes, please.
71. 18.71. Shraddhavan Anasuyascha Shrunuyadapi yo naraha sopi muktaha subhalokan prapnuyat punya karmanam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. Purport. In the 67th verse of this chapter, the Lord explicitly forbade the Gitas being spoken to those who are envious of the Lord. In other words, Bhagavad Gita is for the devotees only. But it so happens that sometimes a devotee of the Lord will hold open class, and in that class, not all the students are expected to be devotees. Why do such persons hold open class? It's explained here that although not everyone is a devotee.
Yeah. You there, Mataji?
Hari Bol, Mataji.
We lost you. We can't hear you, Mataji.
Hari Bol, can you hear me?
No, Mataji. Now we can hear, but earlier we didn't hear.
Okay.
Start from it is explained, Mataji.
Sorry?
Anyone wants to continue, Mataji?
Okay,
Yeah. Anyone wants to read?
That although not everyone is a devotee, still there are many men who are not envious of Krishna. They have faith in him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If such persons hear from a bona fide devotee about the Lord, the result is that they become at once free from all sinful reactions, and after that attain to the planetary system where all righteous persons are situated. Therefore, simply by hearing Bhagavad Gita, even a person who does not try to be a pure devotee attains the result of righteous activities. Thus, a pure devotee of the Lord gives everyone a chance to become free from all sinful reactions and to become a devotee of the Lord. Generally, those who are free from sinful reactions, those who are righteous, very easily take to Krishna consciousness. The word punya karmanam is very significant here. This refers to the performance of great sacrifices like the Ashwamedha Yajna mentioned in the Vedic literature. Those who are righteous in performing devotional service, but who are not pure, can attain the planetary system of the polar star, or Dhruvaloka, where Dhruva Maharaj is presiding. He is a great devotee of the Lord, and he has a special planet which is called the polar star. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, so what Prabhupada is telling here is that, first thing is that the benefits are there. What should we do with this knowledge given in Bhagavad Gita? First thing is we should distribute it. And then when we distribute this knowledge, share this knowledge, this jnana to everyone, then the pure devotional service is bestowed upon us. It's guaranteed. And then one will go back to Krishna. Then to study it, the other benefits. So then they study it, what do they do? When they study it, then they worship Krishna with using their intelligence like that. And then they hear it with faith. Without envy, devotees hear with faith. And the results will be freedom from sinful reactions. And then they attain auspicious planets where the pious people will live, dwell like that. So here it is. What is Prabhupada saying? One who listens this Gita with faith, without envy, they become free from sinful reactions and attain auspicious planets. So in the 67th verse, already Lord said, to whom Gita should be spoken. You should not speak to, whom you should not speak Gita. You should not speak to people who are envious, people who are people who are trying to gain something out of it like that. And then speak only to devotees. But it so happens sometimes we also see that devotees, they just may give an open class, means a forum where new people are there. They are expect to be prospective students or prospective devotees, or maybe trying to make them devotees. We hold some classes like that. You may would have attended also. Then then it's like although there are some devotees in that forum or in that association, not everyone is a devotee. And then still there are men who are in that group. There may be people who are not envious. They may have some space, some faith, but that faith is not ignited. They just not have got an association of someone who can take them through this journey. So they are there, such people. So for such people, it's okay, you can preach. So that it is important for them to do. You're not preaching to the faithless people now, which is not a 9th offense according to our 10 offenses, but you're trying to reach out to a devotee, like the example of boat I said, throw a rope where the people are interested or need help, will take the rope and you can pull them up onto the boat. So this is what we can do in that assembly of people, open class, when we are trying to do. It's all good. You're not going against it. You are trying to. If they ask you some questions about inquiries about further progressing in Krishna consciousness, you will help them, and they will that way they will come to Krishna, closer to Krishna, like that. Yeah. So you should avoid challenging people in that group, set them aside, or maybe if you come across, just give time separately to them, not in front of everybody, but someone who is favorable, trying to submissively inquire, give your time so that they understand this philosophy of practicing Krishna consciousness. So this is what it is explained, that although there are sometimes you find they're not devotees, but their inclinations are good, their intentions are good, and they intend to be favorable to take the message to them. You can preach, you can do it. So they have faith in him, they have faith in the Lord, so that's okay. If such persons hear from a bona fide devotee about the Lord, the result is easy, that they become free at once from all sinful reactions. And then they will also get the benefit of attaining higher planetary systems where righteous people live, like that. Yeah, so you become like a Purvajanma Sukruti they may have. So you may, you are an instrument in serving the Lord in the disciplic succession, or representing the Lord. So you are connecting them to the Lord, like that. If you come across, like some of you might have come across, even I have come across in my journey, where I see a sadhu, we have a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? Sadhu Sangha, Sarvasiddhi hai, Lava Matre Sadhu, what is that? Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra hai, Lava Matre Sadhu Sangha, Sarvasiddhi hai. So it's like that, moment of association with a sadhu, with a bona fide person in the parampara, just cleanses the heart, just like how you take the bath in the Ganges. So complete purification happens. Just a moment of association, fraction of that time. That's it. So this may happen to some people who have little faith in that group, in that class. It's okay. They will actually progress and take shelter. It happened to many of the acharyas. It happened to many of the Prabhupada disciples in open pandal. Even His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj met Srila Prabhupada in open pandal, right? He has a faith in it. Many people are there in the group who don't have faith. But he was there and he was at once called onto the stage. Prabhupada noticed him. And that's how he interacted initially. And he was not eating for few days, months or days. I can't remember in journey home I read. And then Prabhupada's first instruction is to feed him sumptuously. They fed nice boga, Raj Bhog to Maharaj. So it's like that, you come across a sadhu, that's it. At once everything will be cleansed, and then they give up and everything, and then they surrender and they give their life to Krishna. Like that they attain, at least they attain this righteous persons situated that place. Like the Prabhupada says, that simply by hearing person who does not try to become pure devotee, even if you don't become a pure devotee also, they will attain some sukruti, pious deeds. And then, and then through that, thus the pure devotee of the Lord gives everyone a chance to become free from sinful reactions and to become a devotee of the Lord, like that. Yeah. So this is a very, very powerful message. So they will get free from and then easily take to Krishna consciousness. So this is Punya Karmanam is very significant. Prabhupada says here. To perform these sacrifices like Ashwamedha Yajna is there. But those who are righteous in performing devotional service, but who are not pure can attain planetary systems, Dhruva also, like that. So he is a great devotee of the Lord Dhruva. He is a special planet, like we all know, right? Pole star is there. Lord has rewarded him this one. So the
It's in
mode of
Vaikuntha.
hearing is important.
It's in
Sorry?
Vaikuntha. Pole star is in Vaikuntha?
No, actually, this is within the realm of this material world, I know, but it will not dissolve.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what it is. Yeah. So we should not speak to people who are envious, only to the devotees. But sometimes in an open class conducted by a devotees, so some students, future prospective students are expected to attend. It's all good. They get, tinge of faith is there, and they may get this, sukruti, benefit to attend planetary systems like that. Even if not going to Godhead, but at least this one is there. So then, in this process, the hearer, the speaker, and the inquirer, everyone is getting benefit also. Like that, according to the Bhagavad. They're everyone getting purified. One who hears with faith, without envy, is definitely getting out of all getting freed from all sinful reactions, and they become a pure devotee. One who hear, faith is there, but not practicing, at least they'll attain this, punya karma they'll get, and then, they'll attain this planet.
What about some people who don't attend classes? They attend sometimes, but then they give charity to the temple. What will be their fate, Mataji?
They also get some sukruti, definitely. Next time they may get, if there's a fortunate enough in this lifetime, they may continue again through some other devotee. Otherwise, they'll get second chance to where they continue, wherever they stopped from. Yeah, always, Krishna remembers what we do. Little thing also he will remember. He will award. Ye tamam prapadyante tam tataiva bhajamyaham. Krishna only said in Bhagavad Gita, right?
Yeah.
He will reward you accordingly you surrender. So this kind of attitude of, how much ever you serve Krishna, accordingly he will reward you. So he will not forget that. He will give a chance to you. Somehow or the other, if not this lifetime, some other lifetime, they will get some buddhi and they will come back to Krishna. Krishna is eagerly waiting for all of us to go back to him. So
because Mataji,
it's like, yeah.
I know one person, one lady, who says, wherever I go, Krishna is always with me.
Yeah.
She attends some classes. She does attend on and off because sometimes the classes stop. Then again, it's not regular. But she's always thinking. Krishna is always in my heart. Wherever I go, I think of Krishna. She's the one who gives money, charity to a temple and all that. But she has a lot of love for him in the heart. So that's why I asked you.
Yeah, that's okay. Like if you're close to that person, give you a time. Like inquire in a subtle way, like whether they are able to, Krishna is there in your heart, which is good, but at least take his name sometime, encourage her to chant. And then Krishna is there, that's right, but Krishna is there in, you eat the remnant of Krishna Prasad, which is good for you. So when she donate or contribute, if she's doing through you, make sure you reach out to her to give some prasad.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah, so it's something, some maha. It's not only prasad, some maha, whatever you can. If you're doing it, it's all good, Mataji. Some people take time to, how we expect to surrender to Krishna, actively participating. Maybe due to their circumstances, they are entangled, which they cannot, even if they know they cannot. But Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana, You may be doing lot of activities, doing service and doing activities or hearing constantly or associating with devotees. Some people can't afford to do that, but they are thinking and doing it secludingly. Also good if they're able to do it. So we cannot judge anyone.
But wherever she goes to do any work, Mataji, she always meets a Krishna Bhakta. And then, sometime in the lift somewhere, so through them she gets her work done. The work is done.
That's right. So which is so fortunate. That is why Krishna is reciprocating with her.
Yeah, that's what she said. That's why Mataji, she tells me, you're attending class, you're doing all that. I'm not saying, but wherever I go, I get some devotee and then, that person helps me.
Yeah, she has faith in that and she believes that wherever she is, Krishna is there and Krishna is making her to realize which is good.
Yeah. Sometimes when you go to some temple, somewhere far away, when we can't do darshan, we come back. But the moment she's with us, we get easy darshan. Anywhere we go. I don't know why this is happening. And then she always laughs. She says, chalo, main chalti hu. Whenever she comes here.
That's nice to hear. That means she is always she always remembering Krishna, never forgetting. That is the bottom line.
Yes.
Yeah, but the thing is that basic things we do have to do. Saying like that, we follow 4 regulative principles and eat only Krishna Prasad is important. And just don't say that wherever I go, Krishna is there and eat whatever everywhere it is available. No, not like so things like that. Yeah, following these things, stand minimum 16 rounds, 4 regulative principles, eat Krishna Prasad, guarantee. From back door also, Prabhupada will take you, if not from front door.
Yeah, Mataji, I'll tell her. Thank you, Mataji.
So this you take care of her, then all good. Yeah, somehow give her some chance to association is anyway she's getting, which is fine. Which is perfect.
She's attending classes. She's attending, not regularly. No? But now I've told her, I said, you better regularly attend classes. She said, I will do it. She gave me a little time.
Yeah, whoever has been trying to, be in the forum for few months like this, everyone is not ordinary people to come and hear and take association of each other's, like motivate each other. So we try go out, and this is what, in conclusion, Krishna is trying to understand from Arjuna. Now the mission is to all of us. Through Arjuna, he is telling to all of us because he is representing all of us. Arjuna is representing all of us. So he's telling us now our mission is to go out and preach. It's like that, the concluding part of this understanding. Arjuna, in further verses, Krishna says, you have not understood. It's okay if you don't understand. I'm ready to tell again everything. Yeah. So that means it is indirect instruction for us. After reading Bhagavad Gita, if anything you don't understand, go back and read again. It's not a one-time, read means finish off. Until you try to apply in your life, keep on reading it every day. Purification happens. Every verse will give a different meaning each time you read. Yeah. It will sink in differently, like that. Thank you for sharing, Mataji. Anyone has anything to share or add or comment or whatever?
Yeah, I'll tell you one incident, Mataji.
Yeah.
My daughter, she was going to work one day,
Mm-hmm.
and then, it was very busy road. This was in Dubai on the Sheikh Zayed road. It was, there the traffic goes, it's a highway. So when she was going, all of a sudden, her car started spinning round and round, round and round. And she didn't know what to do, because she was not a very good, she had just started driving about 1.5 years back. So what happened? In panic, she pressed some button in the front, and guess what? The Narasimha Aarti started.
Oh.
Immediately the car stopped. She said, I thought I'm going to die. Spin, spin, spin in the middle of the road. And that was just, and then she was so shocked that she could not move from there. So some people stopped the car and then took her out of the car. She was suffering from shock, for about a week. After she was okay.
Yeah, but she's so fortunate, huh? So fortunate.
Very fortunate, Mataji.
Yeah, how old is she, Mataji, if I can ask?
That CD.
How old is she?
Now she's big. She's about in her 30s.
Oh, okay.
Luckily,
this is when she was young,
that time we had the CDs, no? So she had the CD in the car.
Very nice. Thanks for sharing, Mataji. Yeah,
so that saved their life, Mataji.
Yeah, Kavita, Mataji, you have something to share? Did you raise hand for reading, huh? Okay, looks like everyone is happy with whatever we read. No issues, right?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you for your lovely class, Mataji.
Thank you so much. And I think you're all doing the Purushottam month, starting for us from today. I don't know.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, make use of this this particular month. It's really, auspicious, you all know, right? So we'll help each other to.
Only thing, Mataji, we can't eat this Ekadasi Prasad the whole month. All other things we can do. That's a bit difficult. Ekadasi we can do.
What is that?
Ekadasi food. Difficult to continue whole month, Mataji.
Oh, okay. It's not a hard and fast rule to do only Ekadashi in the whole month. It's it is if you can't, instead of that, better to have follow normally how you do, but do some extra things like extra chanting, extra reading.
Yes, extra chanting I'm doing, and also 2 meals a day I can do that also.
Yeah, so skip one. It's not restricted like that. Main thing is our devotion. Even on Ekadashi, it's the same principle, right?
Yeah.
It's only if you can, but not force yourself. Otherwise, your senses contemplating on something. What's the point?
Yes. Then we can't do any devotion service, Mataji, thinking so
it's
much.
It's just putting water in the fire. So don't do that, please. So just try to make sure you're following all other things properly while you're doing Purushottam. Means, reciting early morning, you can recite Jagannath Ashtakam or Charastakam, read the verses, or 15th chapter you can read every day Bhagavad Gita. This is important. Extra chanting. All this is important. If possible, if someone of you already read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, if read Bhagavad, it is recommended to read either Krishna book or Canto if you reach to that level. Right?
We are doing that, Mataji. Krishna book also we are reading because Ashish Prabhu has made us read. So that's happening automatically. Bhagavatam we are reading in the morning. Bhagavad Gita now.
You're so fortunate in the group like this, getting some nice association in all walks, left, right, center, everywhere. It's nice. Yeah.
Thanks to Ashish Prabhu is keeping us so busy the whole day.
Yeah, that's nice.
At night we are busy, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare